Explosions, danger, fight scenes, that's all just a day's work for a Hollywood stunt guy, unless an actor decides to perform their own stunts.
You're welcome.
While they do go great most of the times, there have been many movies where stunts failed and actors' lives were changed forever.
Let's have some fun.
Before you do watch, punch the subscribe button. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of any new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Use your spidey senses and stay tuned to the end to find out.
Wait, what?
It's perfectly normal to feel confused.
Chris Pratt's huge fall. Chris Pratt has spent years doing his own stunts. For 6 seasons on Parks and Rec, Pratt would throw his body around, smash into doors, and cause all kinds of damage to the sets. Things didn't change when he transitioned to a full-fledged movie star. There have been multiple films where Chris Pratt has done his own stunts and multiple times where they didn't go exactly as planned. In the movie Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence, Pratt has to deal with a lot of scenes that involve high pressure, anti-gravity, and the perils of space. During one scene, Pratt gets sucked through a door opening and must catch himself on the door in the last second. Both of his arms slam into the door frame. Pratt used Instagram to reveal the deep bruises and gashes he received from the stunt. Luckily, they healed in time for him to start filming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Unfortunately for him, another stunt disaster would take place. A set of wires suspending Pratt more than 15 feet in the air were released far too quickly and Pratt was sent crashing to the ground. He was able to recover and rise up so that the crazy take could still be used for the final cut in the film. Harrison Ford's leg injury. Harrison Ford helped create a lot of history by choosing to return to the franchise that made him famous. When The Force Awakens was announced for production, Ford rejoined the Star Wars universe with his original trilogy castmates like Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. Despite the bigger budget and professional crew, things weren't so easy for Harrison this time around. While filming on a set featuring the Millennium Falcon, Harrison had the scare of his life that could have resulted in even more damage and pain. A poorly timed hatch ended up closing right as Harrison was walking through it. In the process, his leg was crushed and he was stuck in the mechanism for a long time. Ford ended up with 2 broken bones in his leg and a dislocated ankle. Injuries like that can have a long recovery for an actor in his 70s. You would think that an on-set injury for a film like that would occur in some type of epic lightsaber clash or duel between other characters. Harrison Ford doesn't have to worry about injuries like that in the future though, as he was killed off in the climax of the film. Spoiler alert. The Rock delivers an elbow. For the past 5 years or so, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been a megastar in Hollywood. Whether it's comedy films like Central Intelligence or action titles like The Fate of the Furious, he has consistently been a box office champion. It wasn't always that way though. Johnson had to earn his keep in Hollywood and successfully transition from the wrestling ring to the big screen. A starring role in The Scorpion King gave him a chance to do that. While filming the movie, Johnson made a stunt mistake way early on that could have ended up a lot worse and steered him in a whole new direction. Early in The Scorpion King, Johnson has a battle sequence with Michael Clarke Duncan. The two men start off with swords and quickly transition to a huge brawl. During this scene, Johnson swung his elbow so hard that it hit Duncan in the jaw and knocked him cold to the ground. Duncan was shaken up but ultimately fine. He relied on the makeup crew to make the injury look worse than it was in an effort to prank Johnson. This was an early scare in his film career, but luckily everything ended up working out. Chris Hemsworth's huge leap. As the God of Thunder, Chris Hemsworth does a lot of preparation to turn into Thor and look convincing on film. While he can provide the muscles, voice, and acting skills to make Thor believable, he leaves it to the Thor stuntman for some of the more aerobatic moves. Showcasing his vulnerability, Chris Hemsworth provided a Thor training video to his fans and showcased that the God of Thunder isn't so perfect after all. In the clip, we see Thor's stunt double leap off a trampoline, do a triple spin, and then land on his feet in perfect form. After that move, it's up to Hemsworth to perform the same trick. Well, things don't go exactly as planned for the Marvel star. Hemsworth barely gets any air, performs a weak spin, and then tumbles to the side as he tries to pin some sort of landing. The video showcases how Hemsworth can have a good laugh at himself and the reason that all of these Marvel films need professional stuntmen in the first place. As the release of Thor Ragnarok draws near, you can expect to see some of these big-time stunts appear in the film.
Apparently, we have some issues with authority. Just keep a lid on it.
Hugh Jackman's botched entrance. Hugh Jackman has played the role of Wolverine more times than most people can count. After multiple X-Men sequels and standalone films like Logan, you would think that all the crazy action scenes, fight sequences, and metal claws would cause an injury. Jackman actually managed to survive most of these films without any harm. Through the years, he's injured his groin, ear, thigh, and neck, but nothing serious enough to delay filming or keep him from playing the iconic character again. Believe it or not, one of his most dangerous stunts actually happened on an appearance for the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2010. Taking place in Australia, Jackman was set to make a huge entrance for the live audience of his home country. He went flying down the zipline but didn't stop fast enough and smashed into a huge lighting rig for the stage. Jackman injured his eye but quickly recovered and was still able to make an appearance on the show. The clip went viral around the world and showcased that the man who played Wolverine was not as invincible as the character appears to be in the films.
Nope, that's not the rules. No money, no honey.
Suicide Squad injuries. Will Smith may be getting too old for action movies. After starring in hits like Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Hancock, his age finally caught up with him as he played the role of Deadshot in DC Comics' Suicide Squad. While filming the movie, Smith was performing a regular action scene without too many crazy stunts, and he ended up pulling a calf muscle on set. The pop of the calf was so loud that crew members and other actors could actually hear it. Smith worked through the injury and was able to continue filming without missing too much time. Smith's co-star, Margot Robbie, also had to deal with her fair share of on-set injuries. Robbie's character, Harley Quinn, had an extremely small wardrobe, making it hard for her to wear any type of protection or padding for the various stunts. During one stunt, Robbie had to endure the pain when she tore the muscles off of her ribs. She said the pain was so bad that it felt like the ribs were broken. Hopefully the stars rely more on their stuntmen for Suicide Squad 2 when filming begins in 2018.
I've got this completely under control.
Jaimie Alexander enters a dark world. In Thor: The Dark World, there are evil elves, crazy realms, and all kinds of giant fight scenes. For actress Jaimie Alexander, her biggest danger ended up being a giant staircase. Playing Thor's love interest named Sif, the warrior had a scene where she was near a metal staircase. Pouring rain made the conditions dangerous, and a simple scene turned into a slippery and dangerous stunt. The actress ended up falling down the staircase, and gravity did the rest of the damage. By the time her body landed at the bottom, she realized she couldn't move and medical attention was called in immediately. The injuries to Alexander were so bad that she ended up missing filming for nearly a month. Along with a body full of bruises, she suffered from a herniated disc, dislocated shoulders, and a torn rhomboid. But the worst sounding injury of all was the 11 vertebrae that were chipped as they smashed into each stair on the way down. After an amazing recovery and nearly getting paralyzed, Alexander returned to the set, stayed positive, and was able to finish her filming duties for the film. Charlize Theron's career-threatening stunt. Can you imagine hit movies like Mad Max Fury Road and Fate of the Furious without Charlize Theron? The Academy Award-winning actress may have had to call her whole career quits after suffering a devastating injury on the set of the sci-fi film Aeon Flux. Based on a graphic novel by the same name, the action film featured a lot of stunts and crazy scenes that featured Theron in the starring role. While filming one of the stunts, Theron was dropped straight on her neck in a scary on-set injury that delayed the filming for nearly 2 months. Theron was only a few inches away from being paralyzed for the rest of her life. She was able to go back and finish her role in the movie, but the botched stunt has had long-lasting effects on her health. Theron dealt with pain for more than 8 years before she finally had neck fusion surgery to help alleviate some of the serious side effects of her fall. Theron now relies solely on stunt women to perform both big and small feats on the big screen. That's good for her because she probably has a lot of action-filled roles coming up in the future. Stephen Amell's dedication to Arrow. Actors on television shows have a much more demanding schedule than movie stars. This is why it's important to have a stunt team that can handle the majority of the work and ensure that the main actors stay protected. This hasn't stopped Stephen Amell from performing his own stunts for 5 seasons on Arrow. Amell has shown a crazy dedication to the character. This includes intense workouts, long days on set, and of course, the stunts. It seems like each season Amell suffers some kind of new injury. One of his worst came at a random time when he slammed his leg into a set piece. His calf muscle ballooned up to more than double the size, and he obviously missed a few days of filming after that one. Another injury occurred while training for the show and his brief appearances in the WWE. Amell slammed his jaw when doing a special kind of curl. His jaw was swollen for a few days and even gave the actor a temporary lisp because it was hit so hard. As Arrow continues on to season 6, Amell will continue to train and perform his own stunts. Tom Holland gets punched. Becoming the new Spider-Man comes with a lot of pressure. For actor Tom Holland, he had to follow in the footsteps of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Not only that, but Holland was joining the ranks of the MCU with other top stars like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Evans. What he probably never expected while filming Spider-Man: Homecoming was that he was going to get punched right in the face. During a fight scene, Holland made a poorly timed move and his face made a direct connection with a metal fist. Holland, who trained extensively for the film, blamed the incident on the Spider-Man suit. While wearing the costume, his spidey senses were not up to par. He could only see a short distance in front of him and his peripheral vision was all thrown off. He ended up being okay despite having a lot of face pain for the next few days. Maybe Holland got some tips from the other MCU actors that have suffered similar injuries. Robert Downey Jr. actually injured his ankle while filming Iron Man 3 and production had to be stopped for a few days because of it. Well, there you have it. What stunt fail do you think is the worst? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our fantastic playlist. Oh, and the answer to the emoji quiz is...